What's good, YouTube? It's your boy 2K the God, my man Sess. Welcome to the Gods of Boxing Talk. Now for this segment, man, we got a nice treat for everybody. We got trainer for Daniel Jacobs and also Marcus Brown, Mr. Andre Rozier on the phone. How you doing, Coach?
Hey, Happy New Year's, everyone. I'm doing very well and looking to do even better.
Absolutely.
Hey,
I know you are. You got two big fights coming up. Of course, Danny Jacobs versus Gennady Golovkin. That's a major fight that's getting ready to come up. And then you also got, Marcus Brown, which is a huge step-up fight, which if he wins this fight against Thomas Williams Jr., he will be basically putting himself in the contendership at light heavyweight. So you got a full plate right now for the next couple of months.
Without a doubt. Definitely.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, I'm going to go ahead and pass it to my man Sess. He's the interviewer on this show. Go ahead, dog. Go get him.
All right. First of all, I really appreciate you, Mr. Rozier, for being on the show. And just through our correspondence, man, I really appreciate you taking time out to do this with us. My first question is going to be, you always hear a lot of people talk to Danny about his plight with cancer and, how it affected him. But I don't really hear so many people asking you about that and the effects that it had on you. How did you deal with getting the news, about Danny's cancer and just seeing him have to go through that whole recovery stage? How was that for you?
Well, it was a really trying time. I mean, Danny's like my son. And this was early on, even back to before the Pirog fight. Danny used to always say to me, my back is bothering me. Could you rub my back for me?
Mm-hmm.
So, I would rub his back, and then he would ask for me to, just massage his back more and more. So, I joke about it now, but, on hindsight, with the way the situation went down with the attack of the cancer upon him, at that time, I think it was actually in gestation and getting ready to assault him full-fledged with all the force it could possibly put upon his body. And he would always say, massage me, please, Drake. And I said after a while, you better cut it out. I'm tired of massaging your back. Every 5 minutes you want me to massage your back. This is monkey business. You just don't want to work. Get to work. But, and we joke about it now because he said, see, you kept saying I needed to work. I was trying to dodge work, and I might have been dying right before your eyes. I said, you could have been, but I feel a little bad about it now. But get back to work anyway. But it was a trying time. And, as it started really taking hold of his body, one day he was MIA, and we were looking for him. And he found him in his apartment. He couldn't walk. So he was rushed to the hospital. And then the surgeon stated that Danny needed emergency surgery or we might lose it. And it really it was like almost a 48-hour time period. This is incredibly fast when you're dealing with a situation of this nature. Yeah. But they were of the mindset that if we didn't get him into surgery, that he was going to expire. So they rushed him into surgery, and there was a tumor wrapped around his spine. And they had to remove the tumor, and he lost some nerve function as they were trying, because this tumor was making its way in through the vertebrae trying to attack the spinal cord. So needless to say, this was a serious situation. And they thanked the Most High that it was removed completely, and he underwent chemotherapy. And at that point in time, he actually wasn't walking, and they were telling us that he might not be able to walk correctly again. Wow. Much less forget about the boxing. That was a dead subject. Forget about it. He's never going to box again. But we just want to make sure that he can possibly return to normal. So, with that being said, we went up to the hospital after the surgery, and he was sitting in a wheelchair, and he had a smile on his face. So when he saw us, he was like, "Hey, fellas, all right." I said, "You all right, son?" He said, "Yeah." He said, "I'm getting ready to get up here so we can go on out. We going out. We leaving the hospital right now." I said, "Well, we might be leaving the hospital, but you're not going anywhere. You just got to recuperate."
Right.
And but it was a great sign that he was up and that he was really, really of the mindset that this is not going to defeat me.
Yes.
And he took it step by step, and he went through rehabilitation, started taking small steps, and eventually he started walking. And maybe about 3 months after, I was in the gym with all my little guys, and they said, "Hey, Coach, Danny's upstairs." I said, "Danny who?" They said, "Danny." I said, Danny? What Danny doing upstairs?" He said, "All right, let me go upstairs and see what's going on." So he was up there. He said, "Hey, Dre, I came to work out." Now, mind you, he has a brace from his neck to his waist on his body to keep him from moving. And I said, "Okay, come on. Put your hands on my shoulders, and we'll walk downstairs." So we walked downstairs ever so slow. And at that point in time, he said, "I'm on a shadow box." So I said, "Okay, well, go in the mirror and shadow box." So he walked over to the mirror like he was about 1,000 years old, one step at a time. And he put his hands up, and this is the God's honest truth. He threw like 4 punches. He said, "Okay, I'm ready to hit the bag." So I did like a double take, like, "What?" So I said, "All right, come on, let's get wrapped up." So we wrapped up, and he put on the gloves, and he was over there hitting the bag. So this was funny too. He hit the bag like maybe 8 times. So he said, "Okay, Dre, I'm finished."
Oh man.
So needless to say, that was the first day that he came back to the gym, and he said, "I'll be back tomorrow." I said, "Okay, son." I said, "We'll see here," and that's basically how it started. And he kept coming back day by day, got better, stronger, and picked it up.
Wow.
That's a miraculous story, man. I appreciate you sharing that one.
Absolutely. Okay. And from what I'm hearing, Andre, it seems like you guys got a couple of Eastern Europeans in your camp working with Danny. Of the guys is Avondale Krasitse, Sergey Deryanchenko, and I'm gonna kill this one. Evgen Kitrov.
Very good. Those are 3 Europeans from Ukraine and Georgia. Unfortunately, Evgen he fought a lean on Saturday.
Yeah,
which was one hell of a fight.
Yeah,
but he came up short, and it was such a enthralling fight, and I just thought that at the point in time that we were going to be the stronger, more diligent fighter. But Aleem, I give him a lot of credit. He surprised me with his tenacity and his wherewithal, because he even though he had hurt Kitrov, he was hurt himself.
He was almost out of there, Coach.
He was, and believe you me, I was sitting on that chair saying, "Come on, a few more. Touch him, let's go." Because you know when a fight is tough, and you have to say, look, if we can get this guy cooking, we need to get him out of here.
Yeah.
We don't need him to be here any longer, because tonight might not be that night. And that's how it is in boxing.
Yep.
But unfortunately, we came up short. And, I mean, they both fought a fantastic fight.
Yeah.
They really did. They put it on the line, and what a way to start 2017.
Yes.
It's like unbelievable.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
At this point in time, we have Sergey Derevinchenko and Kurt Steves, who we nicknamed. His nickname is Suicide. And,
oh God.
oh yeah. That's one character and a half right there.
Yeah.
I love him to death. He is the funniest dude on the planet. But when it comes to fighting, he is no game to play. None at all.
Wow.
None at all.
Yeah. We seen what he did to I think it was Antoine Douglas, I think his name is, and he just demolished that kid.
And I told Antoine's people, I said, this is not the fight to take. I don't know who set you guys up. And they were like, set us up. Nobody set us up.
Ooh.
Like, you got set up, man.
Damn.
I'm telling you, that's my kid. I know you got set up.
Yeah.
So I was trying to give them a reason to, hey, look, find a way to get out the fight, man.
Yeah.
Find a way. But if they didn't, and the setup was done.
Yeah, it was, man. It was. His intensity is just his intensity and his punching power is no joke, man.
And it's like, and he enjoys it. Fellas, listen to me when I tell you this. He enjoys fighting. It's like, let's go to war.
Absolutely.
Let's get busy.
Absolutely.
So, but they'll be in camp, and there'll be maybe one or two other guys that we parlay in the middle here and there just to mix it up a bit. And my goal is to make sure that Danny understands that he must control the environment in that ring.
Absolutely.
Honestly, I was telling people, since I fought Triple G before with Curtis, there was moments in that fight where I saw Curtis, if he was more tenacious about his job, that if he would have stayed in his chest, he could have been victorious. There were just moments because this guy does not like to back up. And when he backs up, he doesn't punch.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Triple G will not punch backing up. If you could show me a fight where he was, I'll give you $100.
Absolutely. That's actually one of my knocks on Golovkin is his offense to defense and defense to offense. It isn't very good. If you're punching at him, then he's not really punching back at you. He'll wait until you stop, and then he'll try to get off, or he tries to reset and then get his offense started. And I've always wondered why guys just don't take the fight to him.
Yes.
Give him a reason to keep those hands up, and stop that forward momentum.
Thank you. It belies my mind. I'm like, how do you let this guy? Okay, everybody don't possess the wherewithal and punching power to sort of stand there, match him, or much less be stronger than him. Yeah. So David Lemieux, he was afraid. He was throwing those. It's something I call the get away from me punch. Like, like it was fighting. I'm throwing punches at you, but it's not really for me to gain the advantage. It's like, get over me. Get over me.
Yeah.
Those getaway punches, man, listen, you got to fight with the fire and fury of a monster.
Yes.
Yeah,
a monster.
Absolutely.
You got to your opponent when you have the capability of doing such. And once again, I honestly thought Curtis was going to beat him. I said, I know my nephew, he can punch, and I know when in the first 3 rounds especially, he's a monster. But this night, he wasn't a monster. I'm like, oh, no, not tonight. Come on now. Come on.
Well, he got touched.
Gave up the ground.
He got touched. I think that power of Gennady Golovkin really it shocked him a little bit, and you could see it on his face, one of those knockdowns when he's getting up. I think that power really shocked him, so that's what actually made him a little gun shy about being too aggressive against Golovkin. And that's kind of one of the things I fear in this fight for Danny Jacobs. Absolutely, I've been saying for months that in order for Jacobs to beat Golovkin, he has to stay on the inside of this guy. He needs to be directly in his chest, and he needs to go to the body, because one thing I noticed, two things I noticed. One, Golovkin is right for the uppercut. He's wide open for the uppercut. Two, he hates it. He hates it to the body.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, those are those.
Yes. A lot of people.
Go ahead, Coach.
Excuse me for interrupting. A lot of people don't take the initiative to drop Thunder downstairs. You've got to dig. Hey, listen, I know for a fact he was dropped in training camp.
Yes.
By Derek Finley with a body shot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
And Derek, because Derek, he fought Curtis, but we became cool after the fight. So he was like, Uncle Dre, let me tell you something. I hit that sucker in the body, and it folded him up. He said, you can't worry about his head. Can't worry about his head. Touch him in that body and make him think about it. So everybody is usually so tentative about attacking because they don't want to, be caught in the middle of something, that they fail to realize that let me at least put some work downstairs, and then I can work it back upstairs.
Absolutely. That's one of the things that I noticed in a few of Golovkin's fights was the Willie Monroe fight, when Monroe actually stayed in Golovkin's chest and threw some body shots. He had a lot of success. The same thing with Martin Murray, the guy who went 11 rounds with. I think he went 11 rounds.
He did.
He threw shots to Golovkin's body. And another thing about Golovkin is when he starts taking body shots, it's almost like he protects his body. Like he'll leave his head wide open so you don't hit him in the body no more.
Yep.
But I've just always felt that was one of the ways to go after him. Guys that are typically real strong up top or got a real solid chin, they normally don't like it to the body. So that was something that I've always personally thought. But are you guys at all, Andre? Are you guys at all bothered by the fact that Danny seems to be a pretty heavy underdog, man? I think the last time I looked, he was an 8-1 underdog, and I'm sure as time goes on, those numbers may get a little wider for whatever reason. But does that fuel you guys fire a little bit more?
Well, honestly, me myself, I loved it. I was like, oh man, go ahead and take my stuff for granted. Take them for granted.
Yeah.
Because if you think that I'm not working on those shortcomings that I know will break this shell of this invincibility that he has, keep that 8-1. I'm gonna say, you want to make some money for the mortgage, keep it at 8-1.
Yeah,
we're gonna crack that in. We're gonna crack it. And Danny is a great body puncher to begin with, but we're gonna work on it a little bit more to make it a bit. And he's going to be tagging him constantly. I mean, beware. And I call this out, and don't be surprised if it happens.
Okay. Can't wait.
Solid left hook to the liver. Golovkin goes to that house.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And you know what amazes me is that, Golovkin's 34. He's going to be 35 in a little bit.
Right.
All right? This man is not 25 years old anymore.
Yep.
It's not. And me, myself, I'm 52 years old. And I gauge it by my life, how one might feel about things. And you know how people say, oh, I'm 50, but I feel like I'm 25. You're lying. You're lying. You are lying. If you're 50, you don't. got no goddamn 25.
Yeah.
Coach,
It don't work that way.
I'm in my low 30s, Coach, and I still don't feel like I'm 25.
That's what I'm talking about. The body ages. It's a natural state of affairs.
Exactly.
And okay, he's 35. You think that he's going to be performing like he's always performed before? I'm not going to say, okay, he's 35 and this thing. Listen, every day is a day that the time tick-tock.
Yeah.
There's a place that you go when you apex, and then there's a place that you start declining, sliding down the hill like you on a sled, and ain't nothing but snow under the sled. So we're going to be working that old man's body.
Yes, sir.
Now he's an old man. In boxing, 35 is that crest.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Unless you happen to be a heavyweight. You know, and them guys get a couple more years. But at middleweight, it's a tough place to be.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, sir. Yep. Okay, cool.
And you know, and I weigh everything to it. He has never had one of those, I'm toned and tight type of bodies anyway.
No, he hasn't.
So,
no, yeah. Yep.
We're going to touch that sucker body, head. Body, head.
Yes, sir.
And that's when it's all going to come together.
Yes, sir.
Yep. Okay. And
so I appreciate the odds. That 8-1, I appreciate that. Because you know what? There's some bookie that's saying along the way, I'm going to clean up because I know I'm going to get me some money out of this thing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. I always make the joke, man, that the guy that bet on Buster Douglas when he fought Mike Tyson is still spending that money today, you know?
yes, he definitely is. That's a fact and a half. Man, listen. And this is what I'm saying. I mean, that was the most unbelievable odds ever.
Yeah.
But if somebody gonna make some money off this 8-1, I'm telling you, fellas. What I tell you.
Shit, might be me.
It's gonna be.
For real.
Danny's working harder than he's ever worked before.
Oh, nice.
The environment is right. He knows that this will be a life-changing situation.
Right.
Yes, sir.
And there's nothing but the sky that could be the limit after it takes place. Yep,
absolutely. Andre, I've always felt, man, that just from the eye test, and the numbers don't lie either, that Danny is a very good puncher. I think his knockout percentage is somewhere in the mid to upper 80 percentile. But as his
89%.
Trainer, wow.
Yeah.
There we go. 89%. Okay. As his trainer, what can you describe Danny's power? Does he have that thudding or that cracking, or what type of power does Danny have?
Well, he doesn't have the thudding power like say of a Curtis.
Yeah.
You know, like those type of guys, they hit you like if you knocked him out and he had just maybe 2 seconds of conscious and he hit you and he could still knock you out. That's that George Foreman thudding power. You know, like
yeah.
But I could just slap you and I knock you out.
Yeah, he did that to Michael Moore.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
I was like, that right hand that turned on his chin, it didn't look like nothing.
Yeah.
But it put him out.
Sure did.
So there's a difference. Danny's power, if I had to categorize it and give it a title, is more like the abrupt lightning punching power. Like it comes quick and it's sharp, like pow.
Yeah.
And then you're like, well, I was old.
Yeah.
You know, like, what did he hit me with?
That's what Peter Quillen said.
Oh, man.
You know?
Yep.
And another thing is Danny will follow up on his punches. Like if he hits you with one good one, here comes 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's another thing that a lot of fighters haven't done. They might hit Golovkin with one shot and call it a day.
Yep,
you don't see them rap. The only one that really has done that so far is Kell Brook.
Exactly.
And he was too small to make a difference.
Exactly. He still hurt him, though, Coach, with that uppercut. He still hurt him.
He certainly did. That uppercut had him leaking, and he knew it, too.
Yep.
And he said, oh, no. His thing is, oh, no, it didn't hurt me. Stop lying.
Yeah.
For once in your life, just admit it. Hey, look, he hurt me with that shot. I felt it.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, it didn't bother me. Your face is saying an entirely different story.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So if he feels like, oh, you know, I'm going to come in here and walk right to Daniel Jacobs and try to maraud him, that sucker could actually get knocked clean out.
Oh, okay.
Because if he hurts him, Danny's going to finish him.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
He will not stop punching until he gets him out of there.
Yeah, he's always been a great finisher since I've been watching. I've been following Danny for a very long time before he was out with cancer, and that's one of the biggest things that I always liked about him was that he was a great finisher.
Yep.
And a lot of people don't understand that more so than anything else at this point, he has nothing to fear.
Right.
Honestly, after the fight with cancer, Danny, don't worry about a thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
He said, honestly, I fought the hardest fight I could ever fight. I was standing in front of the Grim Reaper, and he was ready to slice and dice. And I said, no.
Yeah.
No, we going to fight.
Okay.
I said, so what happened? He said, I punched the Grim Reaper in his face.
Hey,
there you go. That's right.
Oh,
That's right. That's what I'm talking about.
That's what's up.
He said, I fear no man. He said, this is just a fight. He said, I done fought before. I done fought. I'm not afraid to fight. Fighting is nothing. He said, when you fight death, then you really fight.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
He said, this is just entertainment. He said, that's why I'm going to wear his ass out.
Man, that's what I'm talking about.
I hear you, son. I hear you, baby.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's what I love about Danny, man. He's outside the ring in press conferences. He's the most respectful dude like around, it seems, you know. And I think his kindness can kind of be misleading because when he gets in the ring, he's just a killer. I mean, he even has a mean like look on his face, you know, when he's got his hands up. And I mean, he looks like he just wants to kill you, man. So that's the one thing I've always liked about him.
Yeah, and it's like I tell people, don't misconstrue the fact that he got knocked out by Pirog. I said when he fought Pirog, first and foremost, it was a rough time for him.
Yeah.
And secondly, until he got knocked down, I'm going to call it a knockdown because he tried to get up and he got pushed back to the canvas by the ref.
Yeah.
At the count of 4,
Yeah.
which didn't make any sense to me. But until that point, he was winning that fight. He was winning that fight. So if you think, and honestly, Pirog is a better boxer than Gennady is.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He had moves.
Yeah.
Pirog had them brother moves. I was like,
yeah, he did.
He was flowing. He was shifting. He had the brother moves. I was
Yes, he did.
really?
Yeah.
You know, but we had the edge on it. He was winning the fight until he got caught.
Yeah.
And he tried to get up, which I'll never forget. So if they think that which was 6 years ago, about to be 6.5 years.
Right.
If you think that we haven't worked on changes, you got to be about the dumbest person on the planet.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. Let me set this one up real quick, Andre. So you got the Mecca of boxing, Madison Square Garden, pay-per-view. Danny's coming in here as an underdog, and from what I've heard, there's a no rematch clause.
Another mistake.
Oh yeah. It is. Could you give us any insight on that, Andre? Is that you guys doing, or is that Abel Sanchez and K2's doing?
That's all K2. I mean, for them to be so confident that they would say, you know what, we don't need a rematch clause. The fate is going to play a heavy-duty hand on K2 and Abel Sanchez and Triple J.
Damn.
Yep.
A heavy-duty one. And I'm just going to say, you know what? When we want a rematch, you ain't getting nothing.
Yeah.
You felt that you didn't need one, so you're not going to get one. How about that?
Exactly.
Yep. So
they're going to see.
Yeah, absolutely. So with all of that being said, I mean, the stakes are very, very high. And how do you guys deal with all of that? Just the pay-per-view, Madison Square Garden, no rematch, the underdog aspect of everything. Do you guys embrace that, or, you know, how does that all play out in your camp and in Danny's training? And for you as a trainer?
Well, to me, myself, it's just fuel for my fire. It motivates me to make sure that my fighter is the best that he can possibly be, so that he can deter the naysayers and shock the non-believers. Yeah. And once that takes place, all we need to do is create the atmosphere of super aggressive, articulate boxing, and Danny's going to be the man.
Yeah. I used to have a football coach that used to always use this term, and I never understood what it meant until I actually went to practice and, you know, learned a little bit. And he used to use this term called controlled chaos, and you know, it was us controlling everything, and just in a very, very, very wild environment. You know, playing to our strengths and making our opponent pretty much do what we wanted him to do. And it just always offset the guys in front of us. So I definitely understand where you're coming from with that. And my last question for you, Andre. I've been hearing a lot of rumors about, you know, Virgil Hunter possibly assisting or being in the corner fight night. Could you give us any insight on that? And how far do you and Virgil go back? Where did that come from?
Oh, well, this is a great story. I met Virgil about 23 years ago.
Wow.
And at the time, Curtis and Andre Ward were 10 and 11. Mm-hmm. So we went to Silver Gloves tournament in Kansas City. And I saw Virgil watching Curtis work out. Mm-hmm. So he says, "Oh, that guy looks pretty tough." I said, "He's okay. You know, he's all right." So I didn't know that Andre Ward and Curtis were in the same weight class. Because this is the first time I'm actually going to the Silver Gloves tournament. So they both fight. They're both in the 100-pound weight class, 10, 11 years old. And Curtis knocks his kid out, and Andre Ward knocks his kid out. So Virgil comes over to me and says, "I bet you $100 my kid knock your kid out tomorrow." So I looked at him because, you know, we were talking, so it was sort of strange. He sort of changed up on me.
Yeah.
So I said, "Oh, yeah?" I said, "Well, I'll bet you $500 that win, lose, or draw, my kid ain't getting knocked out. And if you keep talking like that, maybe your kid gonna get knocked out." So they the next day was the finals, and they fought, and you know, they started quick, and you know, Dre ran over to the ring, and Curtis threw a big combination, pop, 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 and stung him, and then he got up on the toes and started boxing. So now Curtis is 10, he's 11. Curtis had like 14 fights. Dre probably had about 50, 60 fights because in California they fight a lot. Yeah. At the point in time, he hadn't seen anything like that because most of them kids they come and they end up running into him. He was knocking them little kids out like it was nothing funny.
Dang.
So Dre was boxing and moving, and it was a great bout. I mean, really, really great. Well performed by both of them. But Dre, of course, had more experience, and he was a really sharp little kid. So they announced the decision. They said, and the winner of the 3-2 decision from the red corner, Region 8. So when they announced that, they lifted Dre's hand. Curtis snatched his hand away, ran out the ring, and went into the back of the locker room crying. So I went back there. I was like, what's the matter? He said, they cheated me. I said, what do you mean they cheated you? He didn't win. He was running around the ring. I said, no, but Kurt, he was using his jab, and he was, touching you, scoring points. He didn't do nothing. But at that time, Virgil came over. He said, man, you got some dynamite on your hands there, man. He said, man, I really appreciate it. And then from that point on, we just became tight and became family. And that's the story right there.
That's what's up,
That's the story right there. So he offered up his facility for us to come in and work out. Mm-hmm. And like I said, it's always good to have that camaraderie and that energy.
Oh, yeah.
Around. Like he said to me, he said, little bruh, because that's what he called him. He said, little bruh, this your show, and you will shine with it.
Absolutely.
He said, anything I can do to help you, I'm here for you. I said, okay, I appreciate it. So I said, well, big brother, come out. I love the flow. We've worked with Demetrius Andrade together, and
cool.
It's just great. So this is a wonderful environment to have Danny training in. Andre Berto, Amir Khan, Andre Ward, Fon Farah. It's just a lot of good energy going to be going on. Yes, and me, myself, as Danny's trainer, I will be putting him through the ringer to be the best fighter he can be on March 18th.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. Sess, I know you said that was your last question. Coach, before we get you out of here, two things. One, talk a little bit about Marcus Brown's upcoming fight against Thomas Williams Jr. And then lastly, go ahead and give us a little info about some up-and-coming fighters that you might be training right now that we need to look forward to.
Oh, most definitely. This is a tough fight. This is a really, really tough fight. Thomas Williams has a lot to reaffirm himself for.
Right.
He fought Adonis Stevenson, and he came to fight in that fight.
Yes.
Although he got stopped, he was in there. He was like a live dog. And if he goes into this bout, he's going to be trying to get it all back.
Yeah.
He knows the win over Marcus Brown will get him back to where he needs to be.
Absolutely.
So from our end, Marcus has to go in there and be the fighter that we know he is. He's a big, strong, fast boxer, puncher. He has to be that all night. He has to keep Thomas off balance, and then he could set up something big. But he has to dig down inside and believe that he can do this.
Yes, absolutely. That's exactly the assessment that I had. Thomas Williams, I think his nickname is Top Dog. He's going to come in there and be a dog, just like he was against Edwin Rodriguez, where he was nearly stopped in the first round and then comes back and stops him in the next one. And then he fought to the death against Adonis Stevenson until he got stopped. So I don't expect anything different against Marcus Brown. And I feel Marcus Brown is the much more talented fighter than Thomas Williams as far as the dynamic that he can bring into the ring with his boxing ability, his power, and his hand speed. If he outboxes Thomas Williams, I feel like it could be a very easy night for Marcus Brown.
Yeah, I concur. He can make it an easy night, or he can make it a hard night. I'm looking forward to him making it an easy night by utilizing his skills and and capability in sharpshooting them and setting up the big ones, and finally winding up with that stoppage.
Absolutely. All right, is there anybody else in your camp that we should be looking forward to? Any up-and-coming fighters?
Oh, yeah, let me this is a heavy-duty roster.
Okay.
I've got Saddam Ali on January 28th.
Absolutely.
Fighting in California.
Okay.
Nice.
I have Kurtsidis. This is some news that we have to actually sift through, because he was the number one mandatory in the WBO. Then the WBO, being the what I call fliggity jiggity sanctioning body that they are, took him out of the number one position, put him in number two, put Canelo in number one. Now Canelo's fighting Chavez on May 6th.
Right.
So that opened the door for Kurtsidis to be back, which he should have never had to quote unquote be back for anyway.
Right.
Exactly.
But that was a entirely set up monetary move
Of course.
by the WBO.
Of course.
And they ought to be ashamed of themselves. Literally.
Yeah.
And if they do that to my fighter again, I guarantee you, and fellas, you can put me on your show again, I'm going to burn them up at the stake like they were witches.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I agree. Because I got some beef with them,
you
too.
Exactly. You want to charge these fighters sanctioning fees, but when it doesn't appeal to you, or when you feel you can't make as much revenue, then you make changes, which is ludicrous.
Yeah.
That's not what it's about. That means that your whole entire organization is bogus.
Yes.
Yep.
So if you guys do it again, I will scream from the Empire State Building.
Absolutely.
The WBO is bogus. That's right. WBO gif. That's what it's going to be called.
I agree.
And we have one of the best middleweights right now in Sergey the Technician Derenchenko.
Okay.
Now this young man is bad as can be, and when you see him in action, you're gonna understand what I'm saying.
Okay.
Nice.
The movement, the ability to set up punches is amazing. And I'm just looking forward to his next fight. We've heard that it might be somewhere in late February.
Okay.
We don't know yet, but we're looking forward to it.
Awesome.
And we have another young man named Ivan Golub, welterweight,
right.
southpaw. He's rising up the ranks. He's doing big things.
I like him.
And I just actually,
I was saying I like him. I like him a lot. He's what, 13? Isn't he like 13-0 with 11 knockouts, something like that, at a welterweight?
Yes, he is. He is. And he's coming along. I call him. That's my Ukrainian son. And when people ask, I say, "This is my son." They look at him. I said, "Oh, he looks more like his mother." But and I actually just started working with a young man. His name is Christian Martinez.
Okay.
He's 4-1 with 4 knockouts, and he's going to be boxing at lightweight, 135 pounds.
Okay.
This kid is the real deal. I'm guaranteed. We're going to talk about him. I guarantee you, you're going to enjoy what you see out of him.
Awesome.
He can crack.
Huh.
Oh, nice. Dang.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's great right there. All right. Is there anything else that you want to say to your fans? Anything you want to remind anybody out there that follows you and Danny Jacobs and all your other fighters?
Well, listen, on March 18th, Redemption will be played out in the Garden. Why do I call it Redemption? Because everyone has something to go back in the past about Danny and say, oh, well, he can't this or he that because this is what happened and that's what happened.
Okay.
So he's going to redeem himself for everyone. And it's going to be spectacular when Danny becomes what I call is the almost undisputed middleweight champ of the world. Because, it's so hard for us to get Saunders to do anything in the ring. So,
God.
and once again, that's because of the WBO gets sanctioning team. So we're going to do what we have to do to win this, to represent it, bring it back to Brooklyn, and New York will be in the house.
Absolutely.
There
Man, I can't wait to see that now, man.
I'm hyped up, man.
I can't wait to see it.
It's going down. I tell people, it's Havoc time. And I don't just say that because of, Havoc boxing gear, which is, of course, my baby. I created it. I make it, and it's all the way live. But it's Havoc time in that ring.
Yes,
sir.
It's, somebody got to get hurt up in there.
Yes,
and
sir.
it ain't going to be Danny Jacobs.
Woo.
Yes, sir. Dang.
Man.
Okay.
Coach, Mr. Andre Rozier, man, I appreciate you coming on. We took a lot of your time, man. I appreciate your patience. I appreciate your stories for sure, man. You are 100% authentic, legit.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? All the way from NY, man. I appreciate you. We will be in touch.
I appreciate the time, fellas. I really do. I had fun.
Oh.
Absolutely. We will be in touch, Coach.
Absolutely.
I'm here anytime. Come on in and check it out.
All right, sir. Thanks again.
All right. Have a great night.
You too.
You too.
All right. Bye-bye.